The song that started the beef, the song where Drake implied that he was as big as the Super Bowl, was called First Person Shooter. So in a way, Drake actually started this video game motif, and Kendrick is bringing it all the way full circle. Drake is under Universal, but because he's suing them, his plan is allegedly to drop his upcoming album with PartyNextDoor under Party's label Sony, the makers of PlayStation. That detail is key to Kendrick's set design, a grid that has the PlayStation controller buttons that represents Drake's remote in the game against Kendrick. And that side of the Super Bowl audience in front of it is the screen. It's him watching the results of the game. And like he says right before Not Like Us, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. Seeing tens of thousands of people rap along to the diss track is the real life proof that the game's over. Obviously, the crowd lights flashing game over at the end of the set are a clear nod to Drake losing the game, both in this beef and potentially in that legal battle with Universal.
But before we get into the breakdown, I want to give a quick shout out to the good people over at Raycon for sponsoring this video.
Everyone swears 2025 is going to be different, and one way or another it will be. The world's going to keep moving whether you set a big resolution or not. So maybe just don't overthink it. Hit the gym once and see what happens. Call your mom more. Plan that big trip, or just take more walks to clear your head. All of that is way easier when you got your Raycon everyday earbuds.
What I have here are Raycon's everyday earbuds, which have gotten even better since the last time I talked about them. The newest model has 32-hour battery life and connects to up to 2 devices at once. It lets me easily switch from my phone to my laptop. And the most useful thing about these for me has been the active voice cancellation. I've been traveling to shoot concerts lately, and these not only save my life on the flight, but whenever I'm in the media pit right next to the speakers, I just put these in, turn on the noise cancellation, and I'm good for however long I have to shoot. I would honestly recommend these as a must-have for any creative who's always on the go. And personally, I've been really enjoying how easy it is to switch between the sound modes. If I'm listening to music, I'll turn on the bass profile. When I'm watching a YouTube video, I go straight to pure sound. They're comfortable in your ear, you just put them in and turn them like this. I got them in black with this concrete protective case.
And while I can't promise this year will be smooth, I could tell you Raycon's return policy is a 30-day happiness guarantee, no questions asked. Plus these earbuds support wireless charging, so I don't even have to take the case off to get 90 minutes of battery in just 10 minutes. Just go to buyraycon.com/profountain, the link in the description, to get up to 20% off everything site-wide.
Big shout out to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into the breakdown.
Kendrick addressed the legal side to this beef head on by saying he wants to play the song that people love, but they love to sue. That line about suing directly calls out Drake's litigation and his claims in the litigation that the song was botted or unfairly promoted. Kendrick saying that it's the song that people love, and the fact that a stadium of almost 100,000 people were screaming A minor together shows that the real audience knows every word, and that Kendrick won the beef to a real life audience and not just online smoke and mirrors. I didn't expect Kendrick to play Euphoria, but when he did, the crowd lights flashed warning wrong way. If that game over was directed towards Drake, these words flashing during a song that was essentially a warning shot was a piece of visual storytelling that meant that Drake was playing with fire, pushing the beef beyond Euphoria, and dropping Family Matters, something that the world watched instantly backfire. After Uncle Sam, portrayed by Samuel L. Jackson, asked, "Can you play the game right?" Kendrick followed up by playing his commercially successful tracks DNA and Humble. But the West Coast sound that the show started with, the sound from his album GNX, was criticized by Uncle Sam for being too loud and ghetto, who tells him he needs to conform to what the rest of the country wants. Kendrick overcomes this by unifying the crowd and the country on Not Like Us, symbolizing how he was able to bring back West Coast rap and its sound with a song that resonated with the whole country, unifying them against Drake as an outsider and a Canadian. He shows this visually by standing in the middle of a US flag formed by dancers' coats, a flag divided east and west that came together through his spot in the middle of both. This shift from the old American way of doing things to what Kendrick is trying to push forward, not just in hip-hop but in the country's culture, is symbolized by him using this instrumental of the song called The Old Guard Is Dead. If Drake was the old guard of rap, keeping it alive by appealing to mainstream and commercial influences, Kendrick using Not Like Us as a unifying moment and then shifting the attention from that on original West Coast rap is his way of ushering in the new guard and killing off the old one. I also gotta mention how during Not Like Us, 2 of Drake's exes, SZA and Serena Williams, were dancing on Drake's grave, which makes sense since Drake previously dissed Serena on Certified Lover Boy by calling her husband a groupie. So Kendrick's line "better not speak on Serena" served as a direct defense of her, especially given her Compton roots. And throughout the performance, Kendrick kept staring into the camera as if he was directly speaking to Drake. Like when he performed Man in the Garden and stared into the camera and said, "Tell me why you think you deserve the greatest of all time." And he repeated that direct approach during his performance of Euphoria, and then again with the line, "I hear you like I'm young," during Not Like Us. And then that moment at the end, playing TV off and bringing out Mustard to celebrate that West Coast sound, and then looking straight at the camera and turning the TV off, is probably what Drake's reaction would be to the Super Bowl halftime if he was watching it. Let me know what I missed down below, and as always, thanks for watching.